Hey, yeah, what's good, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazzo coming at you with a new album review. And today I am checking out Oceans of Slumber with their album When Gods Fear to Speak. And this is a progressive death metal band based out of Houston, Texas. And I've only recently discovered them because I was looking for new music to review for my channel and just for, for fun. And I was like, this band's name stuck out to me. I haven't heard any of their stuff. Let's check them out. And that's how I discovered this band. And like I said, they're a death metal band that also incorporates gent and groove metal into their sound with having a lot of clean vocals. So it's a very interesting experience listening to this band. And let's talk a little bit about this album. I think the gods might be in fear of speaking to this band because their newest album here, it kind of feels a bit underwhelming. Because this progressive symphonic black metal band, they're doing some kind of impressive things here throughout this album, but a lot of the times, I gotta say, with the excruciating long runtime of some of their songs and the repetitive nature of a lot of their songs, it's really hard to, remember a lot of the songs on this album or just remember what goes on this album because so many moments kind of blur together as like very similar sounding in terms of like structure, play style. It all just meshes together a bit. I think the band definitely goes back and forth from being like a really good sounding band to just sounding very, very okay in terms of like their play style. And I think one thing that always goes back and forth with this album or this band is the vocals, both screamed and clean. At times they can sound really good, but then at other times they just sound not that impressive. Like on the song Run From the Light, you get a good balance of soulful, clean singing while also having some harsh gutturals to help balance out the energy here on this song and just, complement each other very well. So I want to play a clip of that song for you so you get a sense of like their good singing abilities.
In search of silence in the sky, I'm grasping for any last flame to spend. My eyes wide open. Let's go. Suffer, relinquish, endure.
Great transition into that soft and heavy sound. It's really nice. I will say other times throughout this album, the vocals can be a little bit repetitive and mundane, but they do manage to bring it back at times to make it very interesting and fun in terms of vocal performances. Like on the song I Will Break the Pride of Your Will, they do a pretty good job of singing on that song. Now the rest of the band does a really good job of sounding pretty heavy and fast when they're doing some intense blast beats with the drums or some heavy groovy riff playing. But throughout the songs, there's a lot of empty space between the songs. And so things get really slowed down. And so things kind of get like forgotten a bit because there's just so much, a big gap of like slowness and then fastness. The flow of the songs just doesn't really go that well at times. I would say throughout the album, the drums have an overall very slow and, chill vibe to them. And it sounds pretty good. And they have some nice dynamic playing here and there. So I got to give it to the drums. They're doing a pretty good job of holding their own, especially on the song Poem of Ecstasy. At the very start of the song, he's doing some nice like chill and dynamic playing here that, goes really well with her soft vocals. So I'll play a clip of that for you right now. The drums sound very tasteful here. The riffs on this album are a mix of like very fast, intense playing and then also slow, groovy, heavier chugs. And I think a good example of like the slower, kind of like decently sounding riffs is on the song The Giving Dream. They sound really nice there and have a good crunch to them. So I'll play a clip of that for you right now.
I return to the depths I know.
They sound really good, but also a little bit too slow at times. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but overall they still sound pretty good. And so after talking about like the different parts of the band, like the drums and the guitars and everything, I think I noticed one thing, like I said earlier, a lot of the songs, they just have a similar structure and feel to them. So a lot of everything about this album just feels very repetitive and redundant of itself. So I think a typical structure of the songs on this album are start off really slow with some mild vocals, and then they rip really hard with some more death metal, heavy metal style playing, and then they pull back a little bit and go more of a proggy, gent style playing, and then boom, some more heavy blast beats and metal playing, and then they just kind of slowly fade out. I would say a good majority of the songs have this kind of structure, if not tweaked a little bit, but you heard one song, you've heard them all on this album. On the production side of things on this album, they do add some nice, interesting background noises. Not to say noises, but background effects like pianos, cyberpunk music to help like flesh out the album. So that was a very interesting part of the album. Like atmospheric wise, it does sound like a pretty good album in that sense. Overall, I would say they're definitely building a very interesting world here with their sound of prog and death metal, but with all the repetitiveness and the long run times, it just makes it feel like it can be a bit lackluster at times. And I would say like the moments that are really, really good, they sound great, but there's not that many moments / there's not even songs that just sound that amazing. There's always just a few moments that sound good, and the rest is just kind of like okay to not that great. So I would give this album from Oceans of Slumber, Where Gods Fear to Speak, an okay and decent 6.5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album. Give me some recommendations. And like always, guys, I will see you in the pit.
Good things about you.